Hello everyone and welcome to another wire wrapping tutorial. This time we are making
the Dragon Eye of Horus.
We have lots of eye colors available in the shop. So check that out if you would like one of these rings made for you, and let me know in the comments below what your favorite color is. Okay, let's get started, yeah? I'm going to use dead soft, round sterling silver wire for this whole project. So I'm going to use 8 inches of 18 gauge wire and mark the middle around 4 inches. Bend at the mark using your chain nose pliers and gently squeeze together. Hold the bent end horizontally in the jaws of the chain nose pliers and bend the wires apart, almost like a wishbone shape. This will be the inner corner of the eye. Use your thumb and bend curves into the wires. This will make the eye-shaped frame. Notice how I made the bottom lid slightly deeper for a realistic eye shape. Once you are satisfied with the shape, bend the wires parallel where the wires cross over each other. Now you want to cut a 3-inch piece of 20 gauge round wire. Start bending a spiral onto the end. This is the part that will hold the bezel setting for our eyeball cap. Test the size of the spiral against the frame we created to see how well it fits. The wires should touch the frame on both ends. This is where we will solder. Solder the connection points to the frame and add the bezel cup to the spiral. I'm using medium silver solder paste. Proper fire safety and ventilation is required for silver soldering, so be safe. Next, we take the tail end of that piece of 20 gauge wire and bend a 90-degree angle where you would like the outer corner of the eye to be. Now we want to bend the wire up at that 90-degree bend we made earlier. I'm going to melt the end of this wire into a little ball using my torch. This will be detail in the inner eye. Look at all those eye colors to choose from. What is that? I think
It can see me?
Anyway, grab your E6000. If you don't have this, you should probably get this stuff because it's amazing and I'm not a sponsor. Apply a dab on the back of the cab. Not too much, but make sure there's enough to coat the back when you press it into the bezel cup. Let the glue dry for at least 30 minutes or an hour. I'm going to use my brass bezel rocker to set the cab into the bezel. For the next step, we are going to do a figure-8 style weave. Cut approximately 4 feet of 28 gauge wire, or you can work off of a spool. Start this wrap by threading the first foot of wire between the frame and the eyelid wire. Wrap the short end of the thin wire up and over the top and around. the 20 gauge eyelid wire that we melted earlier. Thread the wire through the frame and wrap around the frame. Thread it through again and bend up and weave through the lid and the frame again to wrap the lid wire. You might be able to see the figure 8 pattern now. Continue this pattern, wrap around the lid twice, thread the wire through the bottom and wrap twice. Bend the wire up and go in between the two main wires and wrap twice. As you go, make sure the eyelid goes up and over the edge of the bezel setting to make this really look like an eyelid. Once you reach the solder point and can no longer fit any more wire weaving, continue wrapping a coil onto the top lid. When you get to the other side, continue with the figure 8 pattern. Taper the weave closer to the frame as we get into the inner eye corner. I use my nail to hold the weave in place as I taper towards the end. Finish the weave when you can no longer cram any more wraps into the frame. Trim the end and secure the end with the chain nose pliers. Okay, the eye part is done. Now we just have to finish the rest of the band. Start wrapping the long end of the wire onto the top wire of the ring band. Wrap a coil about 5 or 6 times or however long you need until the two wires meet flush. Once the wires meet, wrap around both wires twice, then wrap a coil around the top wire 5 times. This will be the pattern for the entire ring band. Wrap both wires twice, wrap the top wire 5 times, wrap both wires twice, and so on until you get to the length you want. I'm making this ring around a size 9, so I will be wrapping about 19 sections. Don't trim the wire until you are sure you have the size you want. I'm going to start bending the ring band around the mandrel, starting by pre-bending the eye section gently. Bend the ring band size to a much smaller size than your final ring size, and slide to the size you want. Bend the wire tails over top of the eye. Trim the wire once you know your length is correct and secure the end. If not, add some more wraps now. Put the ring back on the mandrel and check the size. Now bend the wire tails gently downward. Tuck these underneath the inner eye and bend it into place. At this point, split the wires apart and trim the one wire to about 1/2 inch. And make a small spiral on the end. Trim the other wire to the length of the spiraled wire and file the end. And we have completed another beautiful wire-wrapped ring. Subscribe if you want to keep learning how to do things like this with us, and hit that like button if you enjoy watching these how-to videos. Let me know what I should make next in the comments below. Thanks for watching!